Hello, and welcome to our special deep dive today, where we unpack a profound and transformative self-dialogue from the text, A Dialogue with Oneself, held on August 30, 1977 at Brockwood Park. This isn't just a discussion. It's an intimate journey into the very core of human consciousness, seeking radical transformation in our daily existence. Our speaker embarks on a personal inquiry, mirroring the struggles and questions that resonate with all of humanity. As he states, his dialogue with himself represents the rest of humanity, making this an intensely personal yet universally applicable exploration. The starting pointing, the illusion of love, and the reality of attachment. The journey begins with a stark and honest realization about love. The speaker acknowledges a profound truth. Love cannot truly exist where there is jealousy or attachment. He doesn't pretend. He frankly admits, I do not know what love is. But I do know that I am jealous, and I do know that I am terribly attached to her. 2019. This is not a theoretical problem, but a factual observation of his own state. Unpacking the layers of attachment from this initial recognition, the dialogue dives deeper into the nature of attachment. J. Symptoms of attachment. The speaker observes that attachment is inextricably linked with a host of painful emotions: fear, jealousy, anxiety, and a pervasive sense of dependence. G. The root of dependence loneliness as an escape, a crucial insight emerges. The dependence stemming from attachment is often a desperate attempt to escape from a deeper, more fundamental feeling, loneliness. Feeling shoved around in the office, in the factory. One comes home seeking comfort and companionship to escape from myself. This escape mechanism, however, simply binds one further through attachment. G. The trap of methods and rewards. In the search for freedom from attachment, one might be tempted to seek out external methods or gurus. But the speaker quickly discovers a subtle, yet powerful, trap getting attached to the very idea of a method, a guru, or even the reward of freedom itself. Accepting promises of reward for following a system means one is looking for reward. And this reward becomes an attachment. This reveals a critical lesson, not to exchange attachment for something else that is still attachment. G. The motive as attachment. Perhaps the most profound revelation in this stage is the realization that even the motive for wanting freedom becomes an attachment. A motive is defined as a hope or a desire to achieve something. If one's desire to be free is itself a motive, then that motive, dictatum seven, my freedom, thereby keeping one, all the time functioning within the field of attachment to the person, the method, the future goal, and even the motive itself. This complexity shows how deeply ingrained attachment is, far beyond just people or objects. Confronting loneliness, the core of the issue, having peeled back the layers of attachment, the dialogue arrives at its central discovering loneliness is the driving force behind attachment. The speaker realizes that as long as I am lonely, the sequence mu of attachment will always be this. The inquiry then shifts to understanding loneliness itself X. Is it instinctual or inherited? The speaker questions whether loneliness is instinctual, inherited, or brought about by my daily activity. He accepts nothing and rejects theories or suppositions of inheritance or instinct, viewing them as excuses not to engage with. What is? G. Observing loneliness without interference. To truly understand loneliness, the approach is one of pure watchfulness. This means not trying to find an intellectual answer, not telling loneliness what it should do, but rather watching for it to tell me. Crucially, this observation must occur without interference from thought, fear, or resistance. The entire energy is concentrated on observing loneliness. G. The energy of crisis. This direct, non-interfering observation of loneliness creates a crisis in the mind, generating great energy. This energy is not something one needs to get or wait for. It arises naturally when faced with a genuine challenge, much like the energy to move when one's house is on fire. This energy remains without being interfered with by thought. Thought's role in creating isolation, the profound question then becomes, why is there this loneliness? Having rejected external theories, the focus turns inward. Is the mind, the brain itself, bringing about this loneliness, this total isolation? The answer is a resounding yes, J. Thought as the creator of isolation, the movement of thought in daily life is actively creating this sense of isolation, whether it's the ambition to become the top executive, the Pope or the Bishop, or society's demand for specialization. Thought is all the time operating to make itself superior, working towards this isolation. Education itself, by promoting a certain career, a certain specialization, contributes to this fragmentation and isolation. The fragmentary nature of thought. The speaker identifies the inferent nature of thought, thought being fragmentary, being limited and time-binding, is the creator of this isolation. Thought is the response of the past as knowledge, experience, and memory, and thus it is inherently limited. In this limitation, thought finds a false sense of security. This security is found in divisions as a specialist, a nationalist, a religious believer, yet, upon deeper examination, there is no security in division, which is fragmentation. The essence of fragmentation is the me versus you, leading to constant conflict. The pivotal insight, thought realizing its own limitation. This brings us to the absolute crux of the dialogue. Can thought itself realize its own limitations? Jedge, the critical difference, there's a fundamental distinction. Oh, am I telling it that it is limited? If I, no separate entity created by thought, impose this limitation on thought, then there is division, resistance, and conflict. This struggle to overcome limitation is violence, not love. It's like a tyrannical government imposing on someone, but here that government is what I have created. Oh, does thought realize of itself that it is limited? This is the profound difference. When thought, on its own, perceives its inherent limitation, then there is no resistance, no conflict. It says, I am that. There is no outside influence, no imposition, thus no conflict. Thought simply realizes it is limited, and that, whatever it does, its worship of God, and so on, is limited, shoddy, petty, Dujay consciousness and its content. This insight extends to consciousness nesciescu. Does consciousness realize its content is itself? Or does it merely accept this idea because, I have heard another say, a consciousness is its content makes up consciousness. The former is direct realization, the latter is an imposed concept, leading to conflict. The end of loneliness and the dawn of love, the culmination of this rigorous self-inquiry is transformative. E.j. loneliness ceases to existing. When thought has now realized of itself that it is limited, so it cannot solve the problem of loneliness, a remarkable phenomenon occurs. As it cannot solve the problem of loneliness, does loneliness exist? The answer is that when thought, being limited and fragmentary, realizes it created this emptiness, this loneliness. When it realizes this, loneliness is not. E.g., effortless freedom from attachment, this disappearance of loneliness leads directly to freedom from attachment. This is not achieved through effort or analysis, but through a simple, sustained process of watching the attachment, what is implied in it, greed, fear, loneliness, all that, and by tracing it, observing it, not analyzing it, but just looking, and looking. The discovery is that thought has done all this, created the attachment through its fragmentary nature. When thought realizes this, the attachment ceases. There is no effort made at all. For the moment there is effort, conflict is back again. Love through negation, the core truth then emerges. In love there is no attachment. If there is attachment, there is no love. Love doesn't need to be sought. It arises through the negation of what it is not. This means no remembrance of hurts, no clinging to images created by thought about others, for I am attached to the image thought has created about her, not to the person themselves. Ajab, seeing the totality at a glancing. The investigation of one factor, attachment, reveals the interconnectedness of all psychological problems. The speaker realizes he doesn't need to go through every factor, fear, pleasure, or the desire for comfort, step by step, one by one. Instead, he can see it at one glance, having captured it. Through negation of what is not love, love is. One doesn't have to run after it, for that would make it a reward, and thus another attachment. The broader context of dialogue and transformation, this profound self, dialogue underscores the purpose of any genuine inquiry or discussion. The speaker emphasizes that true dialogue is not about argument or theoretical questions, but about direct, factual engagement with one's own life and problems. The goal is a radical transformation in our daily existence, in our consciousness, a radical change in our whole way of thinking, looking, observing, acting. This internal exploration of attachment, loneliness, and thought's limitations is precisely how such a transformation begins by facing what is. This journey is a powerful reminder that the path to understanding ourselves and our suffering lies not in external solutions, but in a relentless, honest, and choiceless observation of our internal world. It is in the deepest understanding of what is not love, what is not freedom, that love and freedom are discovered. Thank you for joining us on this exploration.